In the world of social media dares, the line between a stupid moment and a fatal one is thinner than it looks. One wrong dose, one undetected condition, one breath held a second too long, and what thousands of people survived becomes something one person did not. Most who attempt these challenges walk away with nothing more than an embarrassing video. 5 people, however, would accept dares so ordinary, so laughably small, that no one in the room thought to worry. None of them made it out. It was a single chip, not a weapon, not a substance smuggled from somewhere dangerous, not a chemical compound most people have never heard of. A chip, a tortilla chip. The kind of thing that sits in a convenience store next to the gum and the phone chargers and the protein bars. Something you walk past every day without thinking. This one was different, but only in the way that it had been marketed to be different. The Packy One Chip Challenge. One chip, dusted with 2 of the hottest peppers known to exist, the Carolina Reaper and the Naga Viper. Sold in a coffin-shaped box. $10. The instructions were printed right there on the packaging. Eat the chip, then see how long you can last before eating or drinking anything else. Film yourself doing it. Post it. That was the entire dare. Harris Waloba was 14 years old. He was a basketball player. His coach described him as quiet when you first met him, positive, a kid who could make his father smile no matter how bad the day had been. He was a sophomore at Doherty High School in Worcester, Massachusetts. He was not reckless. He was not someone who lived on the edge. He was someone who went to school and played basketball and existed in the ordinary rhythms of being 14 in America. On the morning of September 1st, 2023, a friend brought a Packy chip to school. Someone had bought it at Walgreens. No ID required, no verification. No question about age. The chip was sitting on the shelf and a teenager bought it the same way anyone buys anything. He walked up, he paid, he left. Harris ate it. He sat in class afterwards and told the teacher he was not feeling well. His stomach was burning. The capsaicin, the compound that makes peppers hot, does not stay in the mouth. At sufficient concentration, it moves into the bloodstream. It triggers cardiovascular responses. In a body with an undetected heart condition, those responses have no ceiling. The school nurse called his mother. Lois Waloba drove to the school. She picked up her son. She took him home. At home, he passed out again. She called an ambulance. At the emergency room, doctors worked to stabilize him, but by then the damage had moved faster than intervention could follow. His heart went into arrest. Harris Waloba died on the same day he ate the chip. He was 14 years old. He did not have a criminal record. He did not have a history of risk-taking. He was not trying to be famous. He was trying to be part of a moment his friend had brought to school in a coffin-shaped box. The company pulled the product from shelves within a week. The chip was discontinued. The challenge disappeared from stores. The autopsy came back months later. The medical examiner confirmed cardiopulmonary arrest. It noted the capsaicin concentration. It noted an undetected congenital heart defect, something Harris had never known was there, something no one had ever told him to worry about, a dare designed to make people wince, a product designed to be sold, a challenge designed to be filmed and posted and shared. And at the center of all of it, a 14-year-old boy who had no way of knowing that his heart had a margin no one had ever measured. One chip, that is all it took. Not a lifetime of bad decisions. Not a calculated risk. One chip, purchased at a pharmacy, eaten at a school desk, while his friends watched. They were using allergy medication, not a drug from a back alley, not something synthesized in a lab. Benadryl, the pink pills, the ones that have been in medicine cabinets across America for decades, the ones given to children for bee stings and hay fever and itchy eyes, the ones pediatricians recommend, the ones every parent knows by name. The Benadryl challenge had been circulating on TikTok for years. The premise was exactly as stupid as it sounds. Take 12 to 14 pills of diphenhydramine, 6 times the recommended dose, and film your body's response as it moved into a hallucination. Post the video, get the views. The logic was that the hallucination would look funny on camera. The assumption was that the dose would wear off. The assumption was wrong. Jacob Stevens was 13 years old. He was in 8th grade at Greenfield McLean Middle School in Ohio. He played football. His father said he was well-mannered, funny, loving. The kind of kid who could walk into a room and change the energy of it without trying. He didn't have a record. He wasn't in trouble. He was a middle schooler who liked music and his friends and making people laugh. One afternoon in April 2002, Jacob was at home with those friends. Someone had seen the challenge. Someone had the pills. The setup was easy. This is the part that is almost impossible to process. They did not need to find anything. They did not need to go anywhere. The pills were in the medicine cabinet. The phone was in someone's pocket. The dare issued itself. His friends started filming. Jacob swallowed the pills. He took more than 12, more than 14. His body processed what it could and then hit a threshold that pharmacology does not negotiate. Diphenhydramine at toxic levels attacks the cardiac system. The heart receives signals it cannot interpret. The electrical rhythm that keeps a heart beating begins to degrade. His body started seizing. His friends were still filming when it happened. The camera caught it. The moment the dare stopped being a dare. An ambulance came. Jacob was rushed to hospital and placed on a ventilator. He had sustained catastrophic brain damage. Doctors told his parents there was nothing left to bring back. Justin Stevens was told his son would never open his eyes again, never breathe without a machine, never smile, never walk, never talk. After 6 days on life support, Jacob Stevens died. He was 13 years old. His father went to the media. He held a photograph of his son in the hospital and told people what a ventilator looks like on a middle schooler. He contacted lawmakers. He pushed for age restrictions on Benadryl purchases. He said it would be his life's mission, not because it would bring Jacob back, because the pills were still on the shelves. The videos were still out there. And somewhere, in another house, another group of friends was opening a phone. Allergy pills. The dare was built from something your doctor recommends. Jacob Stevens did not go looking for danger. The danger was already inside the medicine cabinet, waiting to be misread. His name was posted online, publicly, for everyone to see, not as a threat, not as an accusation, as a nomination. The Neck Nominate Challenge had been spreading across social media in the early weeks of 2014. The rules had no hidden complexity. Film yourself drinking a large amount of alcohol as fast as possible. Post the video. Then name someone. Someone specific. Someone real. Someone your entire social network could see, and declare that they were next. The genius of the architecture, if you can call it that, was the removal of privacy. A private decision to decline would have been simple. A private decision made in front of everyone you knew was something else entirely. Once your name was on the screen, the hesitation was public. The refusal would be public. The entire social weight of the moment landed on a single person who had not been asked, they had been declared. Johnny Byrne was 19 years old. He was from Carlow in the Irish Midlands. He was young in the specific way that 19 is young. Old enough to feel like the decisions he made were his own. Young enough to still feel the current that runs through a group when everyone is watching to see what you do. He was not a reckless person. He was not someone who lived for attention. He was a teenager trying to exist in the space where his friends were. When his name appeared on the feed, the audience was already assembled. There was no quiet moment to decide. There was no version where the choice was made in private and announced later. The nomination was the announcement. Everyone who followed him, everyone who followed the person who posted it, everyone in the overlapping networks of a small Irish town, they all saw it at the same time. Johnny filmed himself drinking. The volume was large, the speed was fast. That was the point. Restraint would have missed the point entirely. The challenge did not reward moderation. It rewarded performance, and the performance required a body to absorb something it was not built to absorb in the time the challenge demanded. He posted the video. He nominated the next person. The chain continued forward without him, and somewhere after the camera stopped and the feed moved on to the next clip, Johnny Byrne walked toward water he would not walk away from. He was found in the River Barrow. He had drowned. He was 19 years old. The challenge did not pause when the news came out. It did not stop for a day of reflection. More videos went up. More nominations were issued. The chain had no mechanism for grief, no moment built in where someone pressed stop and said this has gone too far. It continued the way viral things continue, following its own momentum, feeding itself. Other deaths followed in the weeks that came. In England, in Australia. Different people, different circumstances, the same structure. A name posted, a camera pointed, a body asked to perform something it could not survive. Johnny Byrne was not the first. He was not the last. He was a 19-year-old in Ireland whose name appeared on a screen and who answered because everyone was watching. His name was on the feed. Not a dare whispered between friends. Not something he could have simply ignored. His name posted. Public, and he was 19 years old, and everyone he knew was watching. He was alone when he did it. No crowd around him, no group of friends daring him forward, no camera being held by someone else. He had his phone. He had a video he had watched, and he had a dare that did not require anyone else to be in the room. The blackout challenge, the choke challenge, the pass-out challenge. It had multiple names because it had been circulating for years before anyone in authority moved fast enough to stop it. The premise was this: cut off oxygen to the brain for long enough to lose consciousness, then come back. The rush of returning blood oxygen was described in the videos as a high. The whole thing lasted seconds. The whole thing looked on camera like something a person could control. It cannot be controlled. That is the part the videos did not show. Isaac Canavan was 13 years old. He was described by the people who knew him as highly inquisitive, intelligent, the kind of child who asked questions before he accepted anything at face value. He was curious about how things worked. He was curious about everything. In a different context, that curiosity would have taken him somewhere. His mother Lisa had no idea the challenge existed. She had never heard of it. She was not aware that her son had seen the videos. She was not aware that he had tried it before, not until police told her afterward. On March 9th, 2022, Isaac Kenevan died. Police found 2 videos on his phone, videos of him performing the dare, alone, in his own room, with no one watching and no one there to call for help when consciousness left and did not come back. His mother was told after his death. The videos were on his phone. The videos had been there. He had been practicing, and she had not known. She could not have known because the dare lived in a device in her son's pocket and had no obligation to surface until it was too late. The oxygen that leaves a brain during the blackout challenge does not always return in the way the videos suggest. The brain does not have a guaranteed reset point. Certain cells begin dying within minutes of oxygen deprivation. When those cells are in the regions that govern breathing, the body does not restart on its own. There is no high. There is no recovery. There is just the silence of a room where a 13-year-old boy had been and then was not. Lisa Kenevan became a campaigner. She began reporting blackout challenge videos on TikTok, one by one, every time she found one. The platform kept restoring them. The platform told her no violations had been found. She contacted journalists. She contacted lawmakers. She tried to build a wall against a flood that moved faster than any single person could run. She did it because Isaac was gone and the videos were still there. Because another child was, at that moment, watching something that had killed her son in their own room alone with their phone in their hand. He was alone. No group, no peer pressure in the room. Just a screen, a dare, and a 13-year-old boy who was curious about how things worked. His mother found out from the police after.